boys and girls, it's me, and I'm just kind of hanging out in the basement right now, and we're starting our project today. Basically it's on a radio, and radio is just basically an AA5, but which, you know, for most of you guys, ladies that do radios, you know that there's nothing that special about, but I have to beg to differ with you. Although it's not like the Stradivarius I did about a month or so ago, but it's another Emerson radio. And the thing is that there's a young man who's 6 years old, and he would like to see his grandmother's radio work again. So that kind of makes it special in that regard. So here, let me show you the radio. Okay, here it is. This is an Emerson. This is a model, yeah, EC425. I had to do a little investigative research on it because I didn't have any, no markings. The back was missing from the radio. There was no label on it anywhere. And from a little bit of internet research I did on it, it's 1942. And it's in relatively good shape. It does have a little bit of a wood separation here, a little bit of a split there, and as you can see, the dial cover is dried up and broken. So I've already given Mark an email, and he's going to send me a new dial cover for this. And he happens to have it, so it's kind of cool. We should be able to get that maybe by early next week. Another thing I wanted to point out is that it's got, some of these earlier Emersons have this handle that's spring-loaded from the underneath. The spring and everything's intact here, but as you can see, the handle is broken. But I was able to pick up a parts set that has this handle. I picked it up at Englishtown over the weekend. So what we'll do is swap out on that. We'll put a better handle on that as well. Okay, got the bench pretty much all set up. What we're going to do is we're going to just see what the radio sounds like. So what I've done is that I've got a variable transformer here that's, oh wait a minute, I didn't connect my meter. I'm going to connect up this meter to the variac, and what I'll do is I'll just do something like this. So we'll just gradually bring the voltage up, and we'll see if the radio makes any noise and see what it sounds like. So let me, give me a second. Okay, we got it all hooked up. And turn the radio on. What I'll do is I'll turn it on and bring the volume all the way up. And now what I'll take here is I got my right hand on the knob. I'm going to, if you watch the meter, as I bring it up, you'll see the voltage come up. Now we should, if the radio is working, I would think we should be able to hear something or find out what's going to happen. I'm going to bring this up real slow because all the components, particularly the capacitors in this radio, are very, very old. We don't know the condition of the resistors or anything else in the radio, so we're just going to bring this up real slow, and hopefully by about 80 volts or so, just give it a second. We're almost at 70 volts now, and by, I would think, between 75 and 85 volts, we'll probably have an answer as to what's going to happen here. Alright, there's 70 right there. There's 77. And there's 85. Whoop. Hear that? That's a hum. Let me see if I can. Okay. You can hear a station in the background. That's not at a whole 120 volts. We're at 85 volts, and we're actually hearing a station through the hum. This is a good thing. So that means that the filter caps are gone, and we're going to have to change them out. Alright, Just pulled the radio out of the chassis, and here's the chassis, complete with all its original dust. There it is. Get a good shot of that. Man, all that original dust. Well, we'll clean all that up, especially on the bread slicer, the tuning capacitor. That is just bleh. And then of course there's probably a little bit left in here. But on a brighter note, there's no mouse droppings or dead carcasses in here. It's amazing what you can find sometimes in the radio. So we'll get all that cleaned up, and then we'll get started on the surgery. All right, we've gotten the chassis out from the box, and here's the underneath. Here's where everything's happening right here. This is your filter capacitor right here. It's made of wax, and we have two values. We have a red wire 50 microfarad at 150 volts, and a yellow wire 50 microfarad also at 150 volts. And there's also a third wire, which is a common coming out the front. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove that thing and replace it with some modern ones. These aren't 50, these are slightly... sorry about that, the battery died in the middle of my explanation. So we're going to remove that and replace it with two of these modern ones here. These are basically the same thing. Of course, you can see the size is very, very small compared to what was originally in there. And these are both 47 microfarad at 160 volts. And it's 3 microfarad less than 50, but they will work fine. So we're going to put them in there. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to test the tubes, and then we'll just give the radio another try. Okay. Old one has been removed. There's the old one. Okay. And the two new filters are installed and in place. Take a whole lot less space, and it should last another 40 years or so before we have to worry about them again. Okay. Now we're all ready to go. We got the new filter capacitors installed, and we haven't even tested the tubes yet. We haven't changed any other components. We're going to go ahead now and we're going to start bringing up the voltage, and hopefully we'll see a little difference this time. Okay, we'll just start bringing up slowly. We're up to 30 volts. I'm going to keep going. 450, 60, 70. Alright, I'll leave it right there. We're at about 87 volts. Also, I noticed too that the pilot light isn't working on the radio, so we'll have to take a look at that. Okay, I'm hearing something.
Supporters that still exist out there, all of them should be
listen
called
to that.
All of the people, you've screwed us over on globalization and open borders, and we've taken this party back. They have to do that, otherwise it's going to happen again.
How you like that?
Look, I think what
that's
I
a good
like
sign.
now is
So the radio is playing. It's playing poorly, but it's playing. So still have a long way to go, but this is good. This is a good thing. So there you go. Grandma's radio is going to work. Hey, thanks for stopping by and watching. We're going to keep going with this as we make progress. So we'll just see how things go till we get it all done. So thanks for coming by. Take care. Bye.